Webster's dictionary describes delusion as a persistent false psychotic belief regarding the self or persons or objects outside the self that is maintained despite indisputable evidence to the contrary. Now, you guys are probably asking yourselves, yo, big bro, why are you trying to lecture us about the definition of delusion? We already learned this throughout intermediate school. We learned this throughout elementary school. We don't need to be taught the same lesson over and over again. If you are trying to be a teacher or an instructor, this is not the right time. Well, unfortunately, I have to remind every single person about the definition of delusion because I think I just witnessed and discovered the most delusional character that I have witnessed in quite some time. I think this character is probably the most delusional son of a bitch that I have seen throughout all of my 23 years of living, man. And I'll be honest with you, I have seen a lot of delusional characters like Darth Vader. Remember, Darth Vader thought that he was doing the right thing by ruling through tyranny, fear, and evil. He thought the Sith way was the right way. He thought that was the correct and perfect way to live, even though, come to find out, he realized that he was duped by Darth Sidious. He was betrayed by Darth Sidious. Everything that he was taught was all a lie. His life was built upon a fabrication and upon a lie. And remember what happened to Darth Vader at the end? He unfortunately died due to Darth Sidious, even though he finally reconciled with his son Luke Skywalker. Now, this is not a Star Wars video, but Darth Vader is one of the many examples that showcases delusion in a character, because throughout TV and movie history we have seen a lot of delusional characters, and Darth Vader is just one of the many examples. Now that I'm still rambling about the topic of delusion, I need to talk about the main reason why I am making this video, and this is tying back to the topic about delusion. And when we are watching It Welcome to Derry season finale, there is a character there that is so delusional. This character really believes that everything that he is doing is for the greater good. He is really believing all of the evil atrocities that he is complicit with is for the benefit and the betterment of America. He believes that if a lot of people get sacrificed, if a lot of people die at the hands of Pennywise, that the country known as America will triumph and will flourish as a nation just because he wants to let some people die. Now, this is a very disgusting and a very depraved rhetoric for someone to have. And this person who possesses this psychotic and deranged way of thinking is called General Francis Shaw. Now, throughout the show, Francis was leading his soldiers on a wild goose chase. He was lying to every single soldier in his entire cabinet, even though some of these men would later actually follow Francis's entire rhetoric. They will actually indoctrinate his rhetoric into their lives, and they will believe that Francis is doing the right thing. Francis still bamboozled them because he was trying to force his soldiers to go into the heart of Derry, because they believed that if they went into the heart of Derry, they can find whatever is fueling this monster known as Pennywise, and they could actually put a stop to Pennywise. He was lying to them that he wanted to contain Pennywise. He was lying to Leroy that this hidden and discreet mission is for the betterment of the country and is a necessary mission that is trying to save millions of lives. And he was fooling Leroy. He was actually trying to act like a noble general when Leroy was around. You know, he was trying to be a good friend. He was trying to be a good dude, but all of of this was a lie. He was just trying to make Leroy get his guard down more and more and more so that Leroy could turn into an unwilling, mindless slave that resembles all of the other soldiers who already submitted to Francis Shaw's horrible rhetoric. But Leroy was not having it. He was seeing a lot of inconsistencies with Francis's entire mission, and all of this hit the fan during Welcome to Derry's episode 7, and actually some elements in the episode 6 prior to episode 7. Episode 7 pissed me off because we saw what happened to my boy Rich. Before I continue, I want to say R.I.P. Rich. He did not deserve that. He was a G for saving Marge. He was a real knight. He always wanted to be a knight, and he became a knight by protecting the maiden. He protected Marge from being incinerated alive, but unfortunately Rich, he perished during that fire and he died, man. And I also want to say fuck those white supremacists for burning down that military shack, because that military shack slash building was just used for African Americans to bond and to hang out with each other and to, you know, play games with each other and to dance with each other. This location was a safe haven for African Americans, but no, the white man had to destroy something that was cherished within the African American community, all in the hopes of finding Hank Grogan. But they didn't even find Hank Grogan. They did all of that for nothing. They burned that place for nothing. They killed people for nothing, and Rich died for nothing. So I'm sorry that I went on that little tangent. I just had to talk about that scene because Rich did not deserve to die. But this scene also plays into Leroy's shifting alignment with General Francis Shaw, because when he realized that his son was in harm's danger again, he wanted to leave Derry once and for all. He is tired of Derry. His wife just slapped him in the face because she is tired of Derry too. His wife is constantly berating Leroy. She is always telling him that, look, this mission is not for us. Whatever your boss is trying to find in Derry, it's not here. We should not be here. But Leroy is always trying to reassure his family that don't worry, everything is going to be okay. But once he discovered that Will nearly died during that entire skirmish, he went straight to Francis and he told him, look, man, I'm tired of these shenanigans. I don't want to do this anymore, but I am still going to stand my guard for this last mission. But I need you to tell me, what is this mission really about? What are we actually trying to do? And Francis, you know, he's not really trying to respond. He doesn't want to truly tell Leroy up until we see the scene that is showcasing the US military's real mission. And the real mission is not what Leroy thought. The real mission is that they are actually trying to awaken Pennywise. They are doing all of this because they want Pennywise to wreak havoc on Derry. They want Pennywise to do whatever he pleases. They don't care what is going to happen. They don't care about the consequences. They don't care. They just want the town to be filled with fear. And this causes Leroy to nearly shoot and kill Francis. But the thing is, you know, Leroy was outnumbered, he was outgunned, and, you know, Leroy eventually had to drop his weapon. Francis told him, this is the real mission. America needs to be saved. Pennywise needs to take over America. Pennywise needs to start with Derry. Then Pennywise's influence should go and it should seep into all of the states in America, because he believes that Pennywise is necessary to stop race riots, to stop all of the civil unrest, and he thinks that Pennywise is the necessary tool that is going to create unanimous peace for America. And that is false. That is completely weird. That is asinine. That is delusional. How do you believe that a monster like Pennywise is the best tool that is necessary in order to create peace? That is baffling, in my honest opinion. Pennywise is not a tool for peace. Pennywise is a tool for chaos. And General Francis Shaw will soon realize that. But after that, we are looking at Leroy. Leroy, he is trying to speak with Halloran, but Halloran, he's tweaking. He's about to shoot himself. He is trying to commit suicide because he is tired of all of the thoughts. He's tired of the visions. He is tired of being a schizophrenic, paranoid, maniacal person. Everyone around him is believing that he is a lost cause. So Halloran is trying to end himself, but Leroy successfully talks Halloran out of it, and he convinces Halloran to help him because Pennywise took Will. Now, at the end of episode 7, Pennywise was released because of Francis Shaw, and when Pennywise was released, he was destroying the entire town. Not physically, but he created this gigantic mist that engulfed the town known as Derry, and he was mind controlling every single person in Derry. He broke into the school that the main characters are enrolled in, and he completely brainwashed all of the students to follow him so that they can go to that main tree at the heart of Derry. His plan was that when he gathered every single person and every single citizen of Derry and they all go into that tree, it'll create something that will cause Pennywise to be unstoppable, and Pennywise could probably destroy the entire world, or he could possibly enslave the entire world. And that was Pennywise's real plan. And he took Will, he took a lot of other people. Everything is just chaotic right now, but the main characters, they are trying to grieve, they're trying to relive all of the good memories they had with Rich, but you know, it's becoming too much for them, especially Marge. Marge was hit the most when Rich died. She really was not coping well. You know, everything she saw reminded her of Rich, and those scenes were very, very sad to witness because a child like that should have never experienced that type of trauma, because that is going to follow Marge throughout her life in this fictional world. But Pennywise is unleashed. He is wreaking havoc. Derry is in peril, and Pennywise's daughter, Ingrid, she is now probably going to be admitted into the mental psych ward because after that fire, they discovered her body, but she was actually alive. I thought Pennywise killed her, but Pennywise probably just mind controlled her, and I think she is still under the spell of Pennywise, so who knows? She will probably wreak havoc throughout the years that it'll take for Pennywise to return in the original Stephen King's It. But as we get back to Leroy and Halloran are coming up with a plan, and their plan is that they need to go to that same location because they believe Will is there, but they need Halloran's telepathic powers. And Halloran, he's only going to do this because he actually cares about Will. He deeply cares about Will. He doesn't want someone like Will to go through that type of hellacious experience. And Halloran at first is doubtful of the plan, but this Native American lady, I forgot her name, but she is really helpful throughout the entire series, and she was a best friend to General Francis Shaw. But she is seeing that Francis is tweaking. She distanced herself from Francis because she is noticing that he is delusional. She helps Halloran to stop seeing those horrible visions, and this is good and efficient enough for Halloran to locate the last shard that they need. And that last shard was with Lily, Marge, and Ronnie, but the three girls were arguing with each other. They were fighting with each other. Lily was screaming at them because she was being controlled by the last shard, but ultimately the skirmish between the three friends stopped because of Marge. Marge got a hold of the shard and she said, you know what, let's all stop fighting. We will trade who is going to hold the shard every 5 minutes, so nobody is going to get controlled. This is going to be the best route, and that actually works. They reach the location, but Pennywise is already there, and we see that Pennywise is controlling every single citizen of Derry, and they spot Will, but Pennywise now now confronts the 3 children. He is toying with them. He is running side to side. He doesn't really care about the shard. I think he is kind of immune to the shard, even though the kids thought that Pennywise was vulnerable anytime the shard was used against him. But that seems to not work in this particular situation. The kids are scared. They are panicking. They're crying. But then the worst thing imaginable happens to the kids at this time, and that worst thing is one of them being separated from the group, and that one person is Marge. Pennywise yanks Marge from the group, and she screams as she is trying to stop Pennywise's grip, but his grip is too strong. But Pennywise says something to Marge that is actually crazy, because he tells Marge that she is going to be a mother, but the son of Marge is going to be the person that will kill Pennywise during it 2017. But as this is going on, Pennywise is about to devour Marge. He is inches away from Marge's dome. He wants to kill her and eat her, but he pauses, he stops. He is literally frozen in time, and Marge doesn't know why, so she just runs away. She runs back to the group. She's crying, she's in tears. She tells them she doesn't know what happened. But as all of this is going on, we now see the adults arrive, and they are all here because they want to save the day as well. They want to not only free Will, but they want to free everybody else from Pennywise's control. But another group arrived at this moment, and this group is the US military, and the person who is controlling the US military is the delusional General Francis Shaw. This nigga is retarded. He is trying to make Pennywise win. He wants Pennywise to win. He yearns for Pennywise's victory, and he is going to go all out to ensure that Pennywise is victorious, because he is telling his men to shoot at anyone that is running towards that tree, specifically to shoot at Leroy and to capture Halloran. And that's exactly what they did. They shot at Leroy's legs. Leroy is basically a cripple now, and the Native American man got killed. He is dead. They shot him right through his neck. He died upon impact, and they are shooting at the other adults as well. These niggas are crazy, and they are following the orders of Francis. I thought he was a noble general, but he tricked us. He manipulated us. He is a nasty, vindictive, and delusional man. He really believes that Pennywise is the answer to the crisis that the US was facing at the time. He thought that Pennywise was the Uncle Sam. Like, nigga, are you crazy or are you actually insane? Pennywise doesn't care about the United States. Pennywise does not care about France, Italy, Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Australia, Russia, South America, Brazil. Pennywise doesn't care about Antarctica. He doesn't care about Poland. He doesn't care about the earth. Pennywise just cares about his hunger. Why the hell would you believe that you could work in tandem with Pennywise? That is delusional. You do realize that the rhetoric you believe is false, because Pennywise is not going to help you. He's not going to be your big bro. He's not going to be your meal ticket. And that's exactly what happened. Pennywise proved to the world, and he proved to Francis that you should never trust Pennywise. Francis was too stupid to really believe that Pennywise is on his side, because when Pennywise was frozen, Francis walked up to Pennywise and he was talking to Pennywise. He said, "I didn't believe that you were actually real, but here you are. You're real. You're standing in front of me, and you are the ticket to America's freedom. You are the main person that is going to help us." Then next thing you know, boom, Pennywise is reawakened. He is no longer frozen. He is no longer stiff, and he is just looking at a Happy Meal right in front of him. He is like a hungry lion looking at a beautiful gazelle, because Pennywise is licking his lips like Diddy. He is looking at something that is going to sustain him for the next next couple of minutes, and that something is Francis's blood and human flesh and skin. And Francis was dumb enough to believe that Pennywise would actually have a cordial talk with him. Pennywise said, "Nah, I'm not talking with you, bro." So he instantly ate Francis, and Francis dumbass was saying, "Yo, Will, Pennywise, wait, stop." But bro, Pennywise is not gonna stop for you. You're delusional. Stop being delusional, I swear. Francis is probably one of the most delusional characters I have ever seen in a long time. This dude thought that Pennywise was going to be his bro. Pennywise is not your bro, man. But the episode ends when everybody saves the day. They actually successfully put the last shard into the tree with the help of a ghost, and this ghost is actually Rich. Rich arrived with this Native American folklore ghost, and this folklore ghost was following Halloran around, and this ghost actually brought Rich to the battlefield because Rich is the necessary component in actually completing this ritual. And Rich was so funny during this scene. He ran and he flicked off Pennywise. He gave him the finger, and Pennywise was like, "Damn, bro, I just got cooked by this kid." But Rich was a G. He helped to save the day, and the kids actually felt Rich's presence. They felt that there was another pair of hands that contributed into this entire situation. And I really love this finale. I love this season. I loved basically almost everything about this season except for the choppy CGI in between the season. But you know, the season ends with Ronnie and her dad. They leave because Leroy's wife successfully created fake papers so that they can leave. Everyone thought that Ronnie's dad died during that entire fire situation. But I love this show. I can't lie to you. Halloran is finally normal again. Lily too. She is normal. She is having friends. Her friend is Marge. Even though Ronnie's gone, you know, she has Marge, and their friendship is stronger than ever. Remember, they were best friends in the beginning of the season, but now they are true friends right now. And they had a beautiful funeral for Rich, but Rich was watching over them. He was standing behind his parents. This is a great show. I can't lie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And the show ends with someone hung themselves, and I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of sleeping at that point. I was low-key tired at the time of me recording. This is like 2 a.m. at the time of me recording, so I was low-key tired. So someone tell me in the comments at the end of the episode who hung themselves right before the episode ended. I did not get to that point, but this video was made because I wanted to talk about General Francis Shaw. That dude is one of the most delusional characters I have seen. Did you really believe that Pennywise was your friend? Did you really believe that Pennywise cared for the red, white, and blue? You really believe that Pennywise cared about the stars and the spangled and the stripes? Pennywise doesn't care about America. Why would you think that Pennywise is the necessary evil for maintaining peace inside America and inside Derry? You're dumb. You're dumb, man. Rest in peace to Francis Shaw, man. The most delusional character I've seen in quite some time. But that's the end of the video, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm out. Peace.